Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football video. Today's video is a 10-team PPR mock draft from the 8 spot, but this time it is in 3 flex league. But if you're not in a 3 flex league, you can still watch this. It's still the same information pretty much, because the guys that you're drafting for your flex would just be sitting on your bench. And this video was requested by a subscriber whose name is John M. So thank you for watching all my videos, my friend. Thank you very much. And if you guys are not subscribed already, please go down below and click that subscribe button, because I'm going to help you guys dominate your draft and dominate during the regular season by making correct waiver wire decisions, correct trade decisions, correct matchup decisions, correct streams, all of that jazz. And then during the playoffs, you're going to be getting the same stuff in your fantasy playoffs. During the championship, the same stuff, and you're going to dominate your league. So with that being said, let's get right into this draft. So the first pick of the draft is, if I was so smart, holy fuck. All right, the first pick of the draft was Saquon Barkley, followed by Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, David Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, Ezekiel Elliott, Michael Thomas. So, now, in this type of format, when there's 3 flexes, the way I draft doesn't really change. The one thing that you could technically do, though, in a bigger league like this, like where you have a bunch of flexes, is you could just punt one of the positions. So you could say, fuck the running backs. We're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide receivers right in a row, and have locked and loaded 5 wide receivers every week. But then your running back core is going to be hurt. So I don't like doing that. But I will go with the best player available, just like I do in every other draft. So for me right here, it's between Connor and Le'Veon Bell. Now, I think I like Connor's situation more because I know how his situation is going to roll out. He's going to be probably get 90% of the touches on team, 80% of the touches on team, gets the goal line work, gets passing work. Le'Veon Bell, we don't really know. Now, in years prior, he's been pretty good, but that's behind one of the best O-lines in the league that the Steelers have, that James Conner still has. And who knows how much Adam Gase will use him on the goal line. All of this, very fucking confusing to me. So I'd rather just go with James Conner, a guy who I know exactly his role. So after we went James Conner, Tyreek Hill came at the board, followed by Le'Veon Bell, Devontae Adams, Julio Jones. Now, typically around the 9-10 spot or the 8 spot is where you're going to see people go for the double wide receiver strategy. This guy went for Tyreek and Julio. Pretty good strategy, in my opinion, if you are not scared of not having great wide receiver depth. So we're just going to load up on 2 great running backs here, because 2 good running backs fell to us. Now, I do like Juju here as well, but I don't really want to draft 2 guys on the same team this early, like 2 Pittsburgh players like James Conner and Juju, so I'd rather just avoid that. Now, it's perfectly fine if that's what you like to do, but personally, I'd rather not do that. Now, I used to love going Joe Mixon here, but now Chubb has moved up my draft board a lot. Nick Chubb's a guy that I'm heavily targeting now because of they got rid of Duke. They said, Duke, get the fuck out of here. So now it's just the Nick Chubb show until Kareem Hunt gets back. Now they have a rookie that's going to be running behind him, obviously getting some touches, because you can't have Nick Chubb get 100% of the touches. But I'm convinced Nick Chubb's going to be pretty good for the beginning of the season, and then hold that job down while Kareem is here, or when Kareem comes back. So after Nick Chubb was drafted by us, Ty Gurley came off the board, followed by OBJ, Dalvin Cook, Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, Joe Mixon, Mike Evans, A.B., Adam Thielen, Damian Williams, Kerryon Johnson, Pat Mahomes, Keenan Allen, and Aaron Jones. So Travis Kelce was the first tight end off the board at the 2-7, which is pretty typical, I would say, because Kelce is the number 1 tight end by far and away, and he typically goes in the first or second round. Mahomes came off the board at the 3 spot, or not the 3 spot, but at the 3-5 in the 3rd round. Pretty typical. He goes around the 3rd or 4th round, but in your at-home league, he may go in the 1st round, depending on how much people view, or how highly people view, quarterbacks. So we're just going to go with let's look at each position here. Now, let me actually talk about something else too. Damian Williams, I know you guys have seen me talk him down. I'm still not in favor of him, because I was very much in favor of him just a few months ago. Then he hurt that hamstring, and then Andy Reid said that he was not going to be, it was going to be running back by committee. Today, you're watching this, so yesterday, it came out that Damian Williams is going to be the for sure fire 1 from Andy Reid. So I'm just confused. So I'm just going to avoid him, because I don't want to deal with that situation all year. Plus, he has been injury prone in the past, getting a shit ton of concussions. So now we're just going to get a good wide receiver here, because the tight ends, I do think Ertz and Kittle will go soon, but it's a 10-team league, Let's just see how it goes because I'd rather just get a great wide receiver here and then see what to do in the fourth round. So we're going to go with the best wide receiver available. In my opinion, that is T.Y. Hilton, wide receiver of the Indianapolis Colts. He is definitely going to have a not even a breakout season because he's broke out before, but he's going to have a great season this year. Luck loves targeting him. Now, Luck hopefully is good for week one. I'm still kind of nervous that Luck won't be playing week one because it came out that his calf sprain is been lingering since April, so that's pretty bad. April, June, July, August. April, May, June, July, August, boys. That's 5 months. We forgot about May, but that's bad, but I think T.Y. Hilton with Andrew Luck will be great, so we're going to go with T.Y. Hilton here. He's better than Amari Cooper as my wide receiver one because Amari Cooper is so inconsistent. He'll have a game where he destroys for you. He'll score you 40 points, and then the next week, he just takes an absolute shit on your lineup and scores you 5 fucking points, and you're wondering why you even drafted Amari fucking Cooper. So after we went with T.Y. Hilton, Devontae Freeman came with the board, followed by Melvin Gordon, Marlon Mack, Leonard Fournette. So Melvin Gordon's situation is still very unclear. We don't know how long he's holding back for or how holding out for. So I'm just avoiding Melvin Gordon. I'd rather just take Justin Jackson later in the draft or Eckler. So typically we would go with a second wideout here, but the value here is too good for David Montgomery for me to pass up on him. David Montgomery is going to be could finish as a top 12 running back 100% in my mind. I'd rather take him than a guy like Freeman, Fournette, Damian Williams, Cook. I like him way more than Gurley. I like him way more than those guys. I think David Montgomery will probably finish the top 12 guy, top 14 guy. He is fucking great. He played great in the preseason. He's playing phenomenal. He dazzled. He hit him with the razzle fucking dazzle. He's viewed as a whole package, the whole unit. He's going to be a fucking god. He can catch balls, something that Jordan Howard couldn't do. He can run the ball better than Jordan Howard. He's like Jordan Howard, but with actual football skills. No digs at Jordan Howard there, but he's fucking good. He's going to get the opportunity. Tariq Cohen, useless in my opinion. I don't want anything to do with Tariq Cohen. It's the David Montgomery show, in my opinion, in Chicago. So after we selected David Montgomery, Amari Cooper came off the board, followed by Zach Ertz, Josh Jacobs, Brandon Cooks, George Kittle, Timbas, Stefan Diggs, Derrick Henry, Kenny Galladay, Mark Ingram, Chris Carson, Julian Edelman, Robert Woods, Chris Godwin, Cooper Kupp, and now it is our pick. So like I said, the big three tight ends typically go before the fourth round. So Travis Kelce typically goes first in the first or second round, and then Ertz and Kittle come soon after in about the third or fourth round. So we already got 3 running backs, so it's time here to either just go with another wide receiver. Now, there's still some good quarterback value here on the board, but in the 5th round, I'm not as likely to pick Aaron Rodgers here. Maybe in the 5th, or maybe in the 6th, but I still don't even know if I would do that. So, there's a bunch of wide receivers on the board. Lockett, Ridley, Jarvis, Boyd, DJ Moore. So I'd much rather just go with the guy who I view as the safest here, and that's Tyler Boyd. I know his role in the offense. I know he's going to be the wide receiver one for a couple of weeks, and then I know AJ Green's going to come back in and take the job back, and then I know AJ Green's going to get turf toe because that motherfucker is so injury prone. I ain't much of a doctor, but what I can see is he's been riddled with injury, or not riddled. Oh, riddle me this. He's been having consistent injuries, and like right here, like he's gonna be out, miss 6 to 8 weeks. So that's just no fucking good. So we're just gonna go with Tyler Boyd. Don't draft AJ Green. After we went with Tyler Boyd, Sony Michel came off the board, followed by James White, AJ Green, the 6th. Like the only time I'm ever touching him is if he falls to the 11th, and that just never happens. After we went after AJ Green went, Calvin Ridley went, and now it is our pick. So we could either go with a quarterback here and start to fill out our roster, go with a tight end to start filling out our roster, or just load up on more running backs or wide receivers to fill out that flex spot. So I think that's what we would just do in this type of a league and just build this depth. So we're just going to go with a wide receiver here. And I like Tyler Lockett a lot in this situation. I didn't like him as much here. I do like him here, though, because I know his value is so good on the Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks, you'll tell me, oh, Nick, he's on a run-heavy team. I'm aware. I watch all the fucking games. I know they run the ball a lot. But what I also know is that Tyler Lockett is the number 1 wide receiver on the team. It's pretty unclear who the 2 and the 3 are. Will DK Metcalf emerge and be one of those guys? Potentially. Will he come out and or will it just be a bunch of other guys? David Moore, a bunch of other wide receivers on Seattle that could be the 2 and 3. We know Lockett's the number 1 on that team. He scored 10 touchdowns last year, which I don't see happening again necessarily. Could be around 9 or 8, but he is a safer option. I think he's going to be seeing like 5, 6 targets a game, probably get you 70 yards, and be someone that is pretty solid to be your second flex. Now, he's not your wide receiver one, obviously, because we didn't just load up on 5 running backs in a row, but he will be a guy that I'm confident starting in the flex position. So after we went Tyler Lockett, Philip Lindsay came off the board, followed by Deshaun Watson, DJ Moore, Tariq Cohen, Tevin Coleman, Jarvis Landry, OJ Howard, A. Raj, Hunter Henry, Luck, Baker, Miles Williams, Mike Williams, Kenya Drake, Alshon Jeffrey. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarterbacks off the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tight ends off the board. So in a lot of your at-home leagues, I'm just going to tell you right now, straight up, Watson, Baker, Luck, or Rodgers may not make it here to the 7th round. They may be gone by the time the 5th round comes. In the 6th round, you may be seeing guys like Matt Ryan come off the board, or a guy like let's see, Cam Newton, maybe Wentz, maybe Kyler, maybe. People are really high on Kyler. Now, I'm not buying Kyler that high. I do think he is kind of a sleeper in like the 9th or 10th round, but if he goes in like the 8th round, I'm just staying away from that. So at the tight end position, there's still some solid tight ends available who we might go for in this situation, and then just go with the running back on the way back. So I think that's what we'll do, and we'll just go with the best tight end available in Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram is looking to be, for the first 4 weeks, the #1 target on the team, besides Barkley probably. He's going to be catching so many passes, it's going to be outrageous. Now, right now, they have the JV squad of wide receivers. They have like what your fucking high school JV team had at wide receivers. You don't know any of their names besides Golden Tate and Sterling Shepard. I'm sure of that. Unless you're a Giants fan, I highly doubt you know what the other names of the wide receivers are. And unless I'm watching the game and I see their numbers, I have no idea what their fucking names are right now. That's just how bad it is. It's going to be the Evan Ingram and Saquon Barkley show. So I like Evan Ingram here for the first couple of weeks. And I think you need to start off strong, dominate early, assert your dominance over the opponent. So after we went Evan Ingram, Lamar Miller came off the board, followed by Austin Eckler, Jared Cook, Robbie Anderson. So we were looking for Eckler there, but it's fine because we can just go running back here. Now it's between Sanders and Penny to me. Who do I prefer here? Now Penny, it seems like, is just going to be the RB2 on the Seahawks now at this point, if I'm being honest with you, because Carson Wentz is coming out. He's going to be seeing 50 fucking targets in the passing game and all that jazz, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of scared for Penny now. I think it's still going to be like a 60-40, 50-50 split. So Penny will still probably eat in a lot of these games because the Seahawks run the ball so much. So I'd much rather just go with Miles Sanders and hope he emerges a couple of weeks into the season, and then I can start him as my third flex. But for right now, I'm not too confident in being able to do that. So maybe I will actually just go with fuck around and go Penny here, because we will have to likely start him at the beginning of the season, and I think that he's more likely to get a lot of attempts at the beginning of the season and start off strong. So after we went Penny, Eric Ebron came at the board, followed by Miles Sanders, Dante Pettis, Darius Geis, Allen Robinson, Christian Kirk, Will Fuller, Larry Fitz, Matt Ryan, Darrell Henderson, Latavius Murray, David Njoku, Sammy Watkins, Drew Brees, and now it's our pick. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks off the board out of 10. So there's still some guys we like here, so we can just keep on cruising and start drafting more running backs slash wide receivers. So there are some good wide receivers still available, so I think we'll just go we'll go with a running back and then a wide receiver. So I want to go with the guy who I think could have a breakout year this year, and that's Rolls-Royce Freeman, Denver running back right here. I have him highlighted now. He is likely right now, it's a 50-50 split touch split for Denver between Lindsey and Rolls-Royce, and then Theo Riddick's there, so he'll get his catches. But I think Royce Freeman is truly going to emerge as the running back one eventually. He didn't get much of a chance last year because Philip Lindsay came out the gates on fire as the undrafted free agent. But I think this year, Rolls-Royce has had the whole offseason to train. You know, the Denver Broncos didn't make the playoffs, so he had even longer to figure this shit out. And he's just going to be ready to go. He played great in the first preseason game. You can't buy everything in on the first preseason game, because a lot of people will, and they'll end up making mistakes. But I think that Rolls-Royce Freeman is a great option here. So after we went with Rolls-Royce Freeman, Chicago defense got the board, followed by Carson Wentz, Jordan Howard, and Vance McDonald. So don't be that guy who picks the Bears defense in the 9th round. Yeah, sure, maybe they'll be pretty good, but week 1 they're getting the fucking Green Bay Packers, and you don't want to really be playing your defense against the Green Bay Packers. Sure, they may get a pick or two, and they may get some sacks, but I don't know. Rodgers doesn't really throw too many picks, so who knows. All right, so let's see. Quarterback position, there's still some good ones available, so we can just wait a bit and just load up on some more load up on a solid wide receiver that we could throw into our other flex spot. So we're gonna go with either Geronimo. Right here, I'm looking at Geronimo, DD, Marvin Jones, Curtis Samuels, or MVS. Personally, this is a very hard decision because I don't think you're going wrong with any of these guys, but I think I'm just going to go with the guy who I know is the wide receiver one or getting the most targets on their team, and that's D.D. Westbrook in the slot. I think he's going to be getting so many passes from Nick Foles. Nick Foles loves targeting the slot. D.D. Westbrook is a great wideout. Marquise Lee is starting the season off on the pup, another wide receiver on that team, and I think that D.D. is going to start the season off strong. So we're going to go with D.D. Westbrook. After we went with D.D. Westbrook, Kareem Hunt came off the board, followed by Geronimo Allison, Sterling Shepard, Marvin Jones, Rojo, Curtis Samuel, Cam Newton, Jalen Samuels, MVS, Kyler Murray, LaShawn McCoy, Russell Wilson, Corey Davis, Jared Goff. So now I think is where we'd pull the trigger on quarterback to make sure we get our guy. And our guy right now, it's either Dak. Right here, you're either going Dak, Lamar, or Jameis or Josh Allen here would be my choices. And I think I just want to go Jameis for the upside that he throws because he's going to be throwing the ball a lot from behind. He plays in a division with teams that are super strong, the Falcons, Saints, and Panthers. And they're going to be in a lot of shootout games. A lot of their defenses are very weak in that division. And I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be behind a lot. Their defense is very bad. And they're going to be slinging the rock to come back. And I think that famous Jameis is going to be getting a lot of points in those garbage time situations, just like Blake Bortles did a couple of years ago. After we went famous Jameis, Philip Rivers came off the board, followed by DK Metcalf, N'Keal Harry, Cortland Sutton. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs, and 1, 2, 3, 4 wide receivers. So in this kind of a league where you need to be starting a bunch of wide receivers or running backs in your flex, I think getting more wide receivers may be better in this type of a situation than running backs, or just go with a straight 50-50 split. So we'll go one more wide receiver here. Actually, I think, yeah, we'll go one more wide receiver here and then get a few more running backs. So since we are going to likely have to bench. This guy's going to likely ride the pine for a bit because he's hurt in real life. We'll just hope that Kiki Kuti his injury wasn't too bad. I thought his injury looked bad. It was a right ankle injury. But apparently it's not as bad as I thought it was. I thought his leg was fucked. I thought his ankle, I thought that shit was going to have to get yanked off of him or something because his leg looked that fucked up. But I think he'll be fine. So we'll just take Kiki, right? And then he'll just rise the pine for a couple of weeks, right? On our team. And then we just throw him in there eventually when he's fine. So we'll go with Kiki Kuti here. A guy who has a lot of high upside to break out this season. After we went Kiki Kuti, Kalen Balaj came off the board, followed by the LA Rams defense, Carlos Hyde, Deshaun Jackson, Emmanuel Sanders, LA Chargers, Austin Hooper, Damian Harris, Big Ben Roethlisberger, Dante Moncrief, James Washington, Devin Singletary, Peyton Barber, AP going psycho. All right, so we're going to go with the best running back available here. And we're just going to load up on a guy I know I could play as my flex early on in the season, likely. And then we're just going to go with Justin Jackson here because I know for a fact I like Duke Johnson, but he's going to be hurt at the beginning of the season. And I want to win early. And I think that I think that Melvin Gordon will hold out a bunch of weeks. And I think that Justin Jackson will play for maybe 8 weeks this season and just be a fucking tank. As he might be our third flex option, but he's going to be scoring more than most people's first or second flex option in those games. So after we went Justin Jackson, TJ Hawkinson came to the board, followed by Jags defense, Anthony Miller, Duke Johnson, and now it is our pick yet again. So we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 running backs, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide receivers. So you could either go with the 6 and 6, keep it even. You don't need a backup quarterback or a backup tight end in a 10-team league because it's easy to just pick someone off the waiver wire that you could just play every single game. So or when your guy's down. So that's perfectly fine. So like week 7 when Jameis is off, you just drop someone and you just pick someone new up. It's not that complicated. So we're going to just go with one more wide receiver. Go with the 6-6 split since we have 3 wide receivers. Typically I would go, actually, let's see. All right, I do like one guy here a lot. And that is either John Brown, Adam Humphries, or Traquan Smith. Now, I think I'm going to go Humphries here so I can explain something. In his preseason opener, Humphries was looking better than Corey Davis. Humphries is better than Corey Davis. He was showing chemistry with Mariota. He caught 4 of 6 passes for 24 yards. And I think that Adam Humphries is going to actually emerge this year because he's way better than Corey Davis's sorry ass. So I'm going to go with Adam Humphries here. I fucking hate Corey Davis. After Adam Humphries came off the board by us, Devin Funchess got picked, followed by Tom Brady, Minnesota Vikings, Lamar Jackson, Tyrell Williams, Jerick McKinnon, Madison, Greg the Leg Zerline, Justin Tucker the Fucker, Ravens, Cowboys, Bucker, Will Lutz, Browns. So we don't get either of the defenses we wanted because we like the Browns and the Cowboys for their Week 1 matchups. I don't know who any of these teams are playing Week 1. We could actually check New Orleans, so you wouldn't go with them. The Broncos are playing Oakland. Are the Eagles still available? Yeah, the Eagles are playing the Redskins Week 1, so that's who you'd pick because we want to pick a defense that's going to play against a shitty offense, and I believe that the Redskins have a shitty offense, so we're going to go with the Eagles here. Pretty much the way you're going to draft your defense is you're going to go on Google, type in NFL schedule Week 1, find a defense playing against a shitty offense, look at the over-under of the game, look at who's the home favorite. That's it. And it's very easy to do. And I'll make a video about it, but that's pretty simple. And if you want that video, make sure to subscribe. So after we went the Eagles, Gostowski came off the board, followed by Fairbairn, Delaney Walker, Paris Campbell, and then we get our kicker. We just go with Jake Elliott. I don't know much about kickers, even though kickers are pretty important to your team. I just don't really know much about them. After I went Robbie Gould, Jake Elliott came to the board, followed by Ito Smith, Justice Hill, Giorgio, Trevecchio, Adam Vinatieri, Matt Breida, Houston Texans. So our starting lineup at quarterback is Famous Jameis. Our two running backs are James Conner and Nick Chubb. Our two wideouts are T.Y. Hilton and Tyler Boyd. Our tight end is Evan Ingram. Our three flexes are David Montgomery, Tyler Lockett, Rashad Penny. Our kickers Gould. Our defense is the Eagles, and our bench is comprised of Rolls Royce Freeman, D.D. Westbrook, Kiki Cootie, Justin Jackson, and Adam Humph Daddy. So thank you guys all for watching the video. If you did enjoy, please go down below and click that subscribe button because like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to help you dominate your draft, dominate the regular season, dominate the postseason, and kiss that fantasy football trophy. I love all of you motherfuckers. Have a great goddamn rest of your day. Actually, come back later because there's going to be more fucking videos for you. So come back later. But as always, have a great rest of your day. I love you all. Goodbye, guys.